In today's episode, I'm going to teach you how to day trade with Interactive Brokers using their desktop trading software called IBKR Desktop. If we jump onto the screen share, you can see what it looks like. I'm going to give you a platform demo, walking you through how I set up the software for day trading, and I'm going to share with you my honest opinion of whether or not I think this software, as it currently sits right now, meets my minimum standard for being worthy of using it as your primary platform for active trading. My name is Ross Cameron. I'm a full-time trader, and as you may know, I turn an account with less than $600 into more than $10 million of verified and independently audited trading profits. Now, I say that not because I want you to think that my results are typical, because they're not, but I want you to know that I've been trading for a long time. I funded my first account in 2001. So I've traded on dozens of different platforms over the last 20 years, and I have a unique vantage point where, having used all these different platforms, I can really tell you, at least from my experience and based on my strategy, the type of software that I think is really good and the type of platforms that are just not going to keep up with the fast-moving markets that we're trading in today. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it. Now, IBKR Desktop is one of several desktop trading platforms that are offered by Interactive Brokers, as you can see right here on their website. So trading platforms by trading experience. Now, Interactive Brokers is a very large broker dealer. They have millions of customers. And over the years, because they've been around for so long, they've offered a number of different trading platforms. Trader Workstation, TWS, is the platform, the desktop platform that's probably the best known. And so I'll have a separate episode that walks you through my settings and how I optimize that platform for trading. But IBKR Desktop is their new platform right here. And this is very popular. And one of the reasons it's popular is because, well, it harnesses some of the newer technology. It does feel a lot newer. Just the way it's set up, the charts are really nice. In fact, they seem to be using, I think they're using charts, probably the charting engine from TradingView, but it's a great platform, fast charts, 30-second time frames. I mean, you could just tell the platform feels modern. And if you've watched my video on Trader Workstation or you've used it before, you'll know that that's a platform that feels much more it's sort of older generation, older technology, tried and true, but not in keeping with kind of what maybe we're used to today, especially with newer brokers like Robinhood and Webull coming out with really kind of nice looking platforms that are more appealing, I think, to especially to younger traders. So IBKR is the new platform. And one of the things that's also interesting about Interactive Brokers is that if you go on their pricing page, they have, for the United States, IBKR Lite. This is for US residents only, and it allows commission-free trading. But the platform that you use with IBKR Lite is IBKR Desktop. And you can use the mobile app as well, but you don't use the Trader Workstation. And then IBKR Pro, which is actually what I have on my computer right now, that's the account that I have, you do pay commissions, but this is where you get faster order execution. And IBKR Pro is what pretty much anyone who's international would be using as well. Now, by the way, I'll mention right now at the beginning of this episode, I have no affiliate relationship with Interactive Brokers or with any other broker dealer for that matter. So my opinion here is not colored by getting some commission. It's just my genuine feedback on what I think is a good platform. So when I first installed Interactive Brokers on my computer, one of the things that I noted, which I think is really great, is that Interactive Brokers currently has one of the most secure login systems. And I think this is really terrific and important. So the way it works is when you first sign up to Interactive Brokers, you have to install the mobile app on your phone. And then every time you log in, you'll get a push notification that asks you to authorize that login right on your phone. And so, you anytime you log in, you get this little authorization and you click that blue button and then it allows you in. And I think I really think that's great. I don't know of any other broker that currently offers that. Yeah, some brokers will make you do like a text and enter the code, which is fine too, but this is really easy and it's really nice. So that's your first step for signing up. And then, of course, the next thing you have to do is you've got to sign up for your market data that you want. And this is going to depend on where you're trading and exactly what you're looking for. But you do have to sign up for the different market data agreements that you feel make sense for you. Now, one of the first things that I noticed when I loaded Interactive Brokers here, IBKR Desktop, and I funded the account, as you can see, it's got some money in it so I can practice trading. And I will take some trades today so you can actually see kind of what this looks like and how fast the executions are. But one of the first things I noticed is I was like, well, wait, where's my layout? I was kind of confused. So it didn't take me too long to come down here to layouts right here and see, oh, okay, I can do a layout. And you can click the plus sign. And if you do basic trading, well, I guess, yeah, it's just gonna open another tab like that. This is what it looks like when you first set up this first layout. And I initially looked at this and I thought, okay, this all looks pretty good, except where's my level 2? Where's my level 2 window? And I'm looking around and I don't see it anywhere. And so I go over to sitemap and I'm looking here and I'm looking for portfolio trade. And I'm looking for market depth right here. And I don't see it. And then I see over here under coming soon is level 2 market data and time and sales. Ooh, okay. So that is going to be our first problem with IBKR desktop. Currently, right now, it doesn't have level 2. Now, you know, it's going to have it soon. It's coming soon. So that's going to make a big difference when it gets here. But right now, they don't have it. So we're just going to kind of, we're going to keep a little bit of a running list here of some pros and some cons. So for right now, no level 2 is, that's a problem. But on the pros, we have secure login and definitely a modern platform. Now, modern is nice. It's nice to have a modern platform, but ultimately it needs to be able to function. And of course, having level 2 will be an important component to that. Now, the next thing that I did was I came down here. So by default, when I logged in, my account was set to all. And I have 2 accounts with Interactive Brokers. So when it was set to all, the first thing that I did was I was looking to figure out how to set up my hotkeys. And so if you go to settings right here, you can go down to hotkeys, easy. And of course you can switch to light mode or you can switch to dark mode. It depends on your, of course, preference. But anyway, so you go over to hotkeys. And so I scroll down and I say, all right, so I want them for, not platform controls here. I want them for order entry. So I switch over to order entry. And there were already a couple hotkeys here, but I said, all right, I'm just gonna go create a new one and let me just start to see what it looks like. So let's do frequently used, buy limit. So we're gonna do a buy order, it's gonna be a limit order. Let's just say we're gonna do 20 shares. Now, so that's gonna be a buy order for 20 shares, buy limit 20 shares. The keystroke to send this order, let's do shift 2. You know what? Actually, let's do shift L for limit. Let's just do that for now, for right now. So it's gonna be a limit order to buy. So it's a buy button. It applies to, well, default. Okay, it doesn't give me a chance to change that. Order type is limit. Okay, so that's fine. Limit price, let's do at the ask. So I wanna buy at the ask. Oh, and I can do an offset? Excellent. So let's do an offset of 10 cents. 10 cents above the ask. And that's what I typically do. And we'll do this for 20 shares. The time in force we'll just set as day. And let's go ahead and save that. All right, so that's shift L. All right, so shift L, sweet. Now we've got to make sure we got a sell order here as well. So this is the one that I created, sell 10 shares, bid, day order, minus 5 cents. Now, the only problem here is that you may know that I like to be able to change to sell my full position. What if I have 20 shares and I want to sell the whole thing? What if I have 23 shares and I want to sell the whole thing? And you can't do that right now. You can only sell based on actual shares that you predefine. Uh-oh. All right, we're back over here. Hotkey, no position, no percentage of position key. All right. Okay. All right. That's okay. We'll just keep track of it. It's not ideal, but that's all right. We can work with it. So it's going to sell bid 10 shares. All right. So that's fine. And that is Control Z. Okay. So then I come over here and I say, all right, well, let me type in, a cheaper stock, NLSP. Now that's interesting. So I type in the stock, NLSP. I click enter. I click enter again. Does it make me click? So every time I want to pull up a new stock, SGN, I got to click it twice. So NLSP, yeah. So I got to click twice. So it's a little bit, that slows down your workflow. This is just, things that I notice because of course with the other software I use, I'm familiar and comfortable with just typing and going like that and being able to instantly have it pulled up. So it's a little slower, but all right. So now this stock, NLSP. All right, so here's our chart. It's currently at 260. So now I'm just going to try pressing Shift T. So wait a second. Shift T. That's not working. It's giving me a cap right there. So that's not working. So now we got to go back into our hotkey. You can see when I press Shift T, it's just typing a T right there. So I'm like, oh shoot, well that doesn't work. So let's go back into our settings. Go back to the hotkeys. Go back to the order entry window. So Shift, even though it lets me set the Shift key, it actually doesn't seem like it's working. So let's try doing Control. Let's see. Let's cancel that. Can't do Control. So let's see, Control or Shift, right? And one non-key modifier. So, well, we could try Shift B. I'm not sure if that's going to work. Let's try Control. We'll try Control 1. Let's try Control 1. All right, so that's Control 1 for buy 10 shares. Okay, there we go. So Control 1, buy 10 shares. Wait a second, but why isn't the order going through? So the way these orders work is it submits an order, it prepares it. So if I change this to 50 shares and I press Control 1 again, it changes it to 10. But I have to manually click the buy button. So I click the buy button and then it says, wait, select your account. You must select an account. So I'm like, oh, all right, so there's my account. Okay, so now submit the buy order. All right, so now I'm in 10 shares. Okay, that was pretty quick. So I did have to come up here and update this window, the positions window. When I first set it up, it had a lot of stuff that I didn't find helpful. So I simplified this to just show my ticker of the position I'm in, the number of shares I'm holding, my average price, my unrealized P&L, and my realized P&L. And I got rid of everything else. Now, typically, you can click and drag these to move them, to rearrange the columns, but you actually can't do that with this software. You've got to go in to the settings and you've got to click and drag it right here, which is fine, I guess. It's a little cumbersome. I'm not gonna, take a point away for that, but it's just, you can adjust it at least this way, so that's good. All right, so now I'm in. So now let's do Control Z. Let's get out. Submit sell order. Well, wait a second. I already set my account. Why does it keep doing this? And that's when I realized that you've got to set your account up in the top corner to the account that you're going to trade in. So that's a little thing, but once you've got that set, then it's going to default to that's the setting. So Control 1 switches to a buy order for 10 shares, and Control Z switches to a sell order, and it changes the price, right? So see how the price changes and the side changes. So basically what your hotkeys do is they quickly change your order for you. So you can just sort of quickly, change the type of order you're using, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that, but that's a little slow because what I'm accustomed to is pressing the hotkey for Control 1 and having the order go through. I don't have to click the buy button again. So now Control Z, submit sell order, right? So now I'm down to 10 shares and now I'm back to flat. But wait a second, now this is a little annoying. So now I'm flat and my position is gone. It's not showing me how much I'm up or down. I click on the 3 dots, I said show 0 positions, show cash rows, but it's not displaying them. So I had to go to this little tool box here and add balances down here. And under the balances down here, I'm sorting it by realized. And so it's showing me the stocks that I'm up or down on. And it's not ideal. That's not the way I'd typically like to have it, but it's fine, I guess, for now. By the way, before I forget to mention, for those of you guys that want to learn more about my day trading strategy, I will put a link. It'll be pinned to the top comment, and it'll also be linked in the description where you can download my small account worksheet. That's going to give you my 5 pillars of stock selection, the type of stocks that I like to day trade. It's also going to walk you through where I get in, where I get out, and how I manage my risk. So I just wanted to touch on that before I forget. So if you're interested in learning more about my strategy, you can check out those links that are pinned in the top of the comments and in the description. So let's jump back up onto this screen share here for a second. So I showed you first thing, you got to make sure you select your account type in the top right corner. I noted that you can't drag the columns, so that's a little bit annoying. You've got to actually go in and manually fix them. When you try take your first order, it's going to give you the window to disable order confirmations, which I do disable because I want to be able to trade quickly and get in and out quickly. So I turn off the confirmation. So that's fine. And then I say skip in the future. And then you can adjust it under your display, under your settings if you need to. And then it also gave me this alert that said, allow Interactive Brokers to protect your orders using the price management algo. I've never seen this from another broker before. Regulatory obligations require us to reject any order if the limit price is more than the allowed distance from the current reference price. This may happen as a result of certain market conditions. This is designed to ensure that the price of any one order is in line with an orderly market. So our price algo can automatically manage your price when needed in an attempt to avoid such a rejection and have your order get filled at a fair price. So do I want to use it? Do I not want to use it? And so I said, sure, okay, that's fine, but that's not something I've seen on any other broker. Now, it hasn't caused an issue as far as I can tell, but let's just say, for instance, that I want to buy some shares of this stock here, right? So this is the NLSP. So it should just say NLSP up here too, just to be consistent. So we're going to do control 1, but we're going to put this order at $3.20. Not $3.25, $3.20 like that. So now that's well over 10% above the current price. So let's see what happens if I send this order, if it's going to accept it or if it's going to give me an error. So the limit price exceeds the market price by 23.55%, and the current limit is 3%. Now, the current limit is not a limit created, as far as I'm aware, by anyone other than Interactive Brokers. And I could just say that because I could go over here to this other platform that I use for trading, and I could place an order well above, and I've never seen this rejection. So here's the problem when you trade a cheap stock. The current limit is 3%. So, well, 10% on this is 25 cents. So 3% is like 7 cents, right? So in theory, if I put this order control 1, even just at 75, let's do 77, I think the order will get rejected. Yeah, it's 7%. So it's getting rejected. So now let me go down to 73. And it's still, it's saying the price limit exceeds. So it's giving you this additional pop-up. Now let's go ahead and transmit that order. So the order did get filled, but it just forces you to have this additional check, which I understand that it might be there to protect you, but in fast-moving markets, these types of pop-ups are going to slow you down. When you want to get in, you want to get in. When you want to get out, you want to get out, and you want to be able to move quickly. Now, I did see fill outside regular trading hours. This is going to be something you'd have to click for trading pre-market or after hours. So that's another, sort of little thing. Each time we switch, it unchecks it. So now you've got to recheck it, right? Each time you press that hotkey, it unchecks it. So if we go back to our settings, we go back to the hotkeys and the order entry window. These hotkeys are not giving us a preset where we can say, just always allow them pre-market, right? You just have this as the default. Now we could change the default and just test it and see if it decides not to change it. But yeah, so even if you just leave it to default, it still takes it away. So I think that's a little bit, again, that's just a little bit of a pain. So my experience right now is that this platform is modern and it feels really close to being what we would want it to be. And in fact, right now, as it sits, it's more usable than a lot of other platforms that I've traded on. However, what it needs for me, there's a couple things that it needs. Now, let's pull up this broker comparison doc. Now, this is a work in progress. As I review different brokers, I add them. I have some on my list that I've partially filled, but not completely filled. So Interactive Brokers IBKR Lite would be right here. So I give a score of between 1 and 10. And I would say right now, anything less than a 5, I wouldn't trade with real money. So this is better than Fidelity. And I think it's going to be better soon, but I don't think it's a lot better. And I wouldn't trade with it with real money for day trading for me right now. I see potential with this. Fidelity's platform, just as a comparison, is so antiquated that they need to launch their own like IBKR desktop. That's what they need to do. They need to sort of start from scratch. But IBKR desktop is on the on-ramp. They're developing it, they're improving it. I think it's going to be better. A year from now, 2 years from now, it might be a lot better. So this could very possibly make its way up, but as it sits right now, it's not something I could use for day trading. There's no level 2 and you have very limited hotkeys. Now, IBKR Lite is free, which is great. 65 cents for options per contract, but you don't have direct access routing. And the execution speed is between 0 and 9 seconds. Now, based on regulatory filings, all brokers that engage in payment for order flow are required to make disclosures where they state how much price improvement you get and how long your orders take to fill. So this is a very long this is a very long sheet of data. So I pulled this into Excel, all of this data. And the data comes out to providing an average price improvement of 0.0361, which is not bad. That's $3.61 on 100 shares. That's actually the best price improvement out of any of the brokers that I've looked at. If we pull back up the comparison table, this is 361 on 100 shares. That's what they're showing on that report when you pull all that data. So now most of the other brokers, they actually just tell you exactly how much price improvement you get, and they tell you your execution efficiency, the execution time. So it's kind of, Interactive Brokers doesn't give me that data. What they give you is this report. And I looked for the data and I couldn't find it. So if it's out there, it's just not readily accessible when you search for it. So if we do a search for Interactive Brokers execution speed and quality. So dedication, this is usually the page that loads. So here they talk about, execution, monthly trading expense, view monthly brokerage details. So no, this is not what we're looking for here. That's not it. You go down here. So then I was like, all right, I'm not finding it here. So Interactive Brokers, SEC 605 report, and these are the required disclosures. So anyways, that's how I pulled this data here. And so that's what it shows for price improvement. And then for execution speed, all of the orders, almost all of them, this is like 40,000 rows of data, but almost all of them fall into the category of execution between 0 and 9 seconds. So kind of interesting. They don't give you more detail on execution speed beyond that, but that's what it says. Now, it's also important to recognize that this is for US traders on IBKR Lite, because that's where you have commission-free trading, and that's where they have the obligation to file the report on price improvement that you're getting from the commission-free trading, how much the broker's getting paid, how much the clearing firm or the market maker's making, the middleman, the wholesaler, and then how much you get in price improvement, and your execution speed, so they can say that this is not slowing down your quality of execution compared to sending it to their direct market. But my IBKR is IBKR Pro. So the executions that you're seeing right now, or that you've seen so far, have not been on IBKR Lite. They've been on IBKR Pro. Now, I will say that in terms of executions, right now, I don't have any problem with the execution speed on this platform. So we're gonna change this to control 1. I'm gonna do 3,000 shares. We'll just do a slightly bigger order just to kind of test it out. So we're gonna go ahead and submit that order. Now, Okay, I don't know where that 500 share limit was, but anyways. So I'm in at 59.95, 3,000 shares. So now I want to go to sell, and of course I have to manually type in 3,010 shares, right? So now I'm going to put my sell order here on this at, I'll put it at 60. Oops, so you got, again, this is where you're like manually clicking. It's not super fast. So we'll put it at 60, place a sell order. Now that limit of 500 shares might be somewhere that I can adjust that setting. So now my order is sitting pending on the ask. So I'm gonna have to wait for it to get filled. Now I may have to cancel the order if it doesn't fill, right? My order is just sitting there on the ask at 60. So at a certain point you sit there and you're like, oh, my order's not filling. Nah, shoot, I better just cancel it. All right, so I'm gonna cancel the order and then I flip. And once again, you gotta enter it a second time, right? So you can see how this feels a little clumsy. If we were talking about a fast moving market, this is all taking too much time. This is way too much time. So I'll just put my order at 55 here, sell and transmit, done. So you can see the execution is pretty quick. Now let's see what my fill was on that order. So the limit price was 55. The price didn't go down to 55 though. So what was my fill? My fill was 56.6. So what I would probably do here is I would change my fill to be higher up here. So I can see, let's see, I'll put it up here. That way I could just see very quickly what my fill price is. So of course you can adjust this to make it a little easier for yourself. So, you know, I don't mind taking a couple losses here, just practicing, kind of showing you guys what it looks like. So I don't have a problem with the execution speed, but I do have a problem with just the overall functionality of this platform, that it's not fast enough. Now, if you're looking for speed and you want to move fast and you're day trading and you're with Interactive Brokers, then Interactive Brokers Trader Workstation, that might be the platform to take a closer look at. Now, I'll say with this, the charts, no issue with the charts. These charts are great. These are the same charts that I use, basically. Charts are great. So once they add level 2, once they improve the hotkeys and they just iron out some of these bumps, this could be a really great platform. It's not there yet. And in fact, if you want a platform that looks like this but is there, I would say it's Webull. Webull is there. The only thing with Webull is it is a commission-free broker, and they are going to limit how aggressive you could be with share size. IBKR, you could trade with well, somewhat bigger share size, but there is one thing that I should say, which is that I've heard a number of reports of members at Warrior Trading saying that they placed an order to buy a position on a thinly traded stock pre-market. So a stock pops up on our scanners pre-market and all of a sudden starts squeezing. They jump in it. So, you know, stock, I don't know, could it be any one of these stocks? Pops up, starts squeezing, they jump in it. And then when they go to sell, they get an error message. And the error message says that they're blocked from selling because of a regulation that will prevent affiliates of a company from trading more than 1% of the trading volume of the stock. And it's based on an average trading volume. So let's say a stock trades with average volume. Let's just take a recent example. So let's pull up a stock that I traded just today. So SGN is a stock I traded today. So today it's got over 50 million shares of volume. 2 days ago, it had 97 million shares of volume. The day before it had 97 million shares of volume, it had 100,000 shares of volume. Wow. So all of a sudden, this had news and went from 100,000 shares of average daily volume to 100 million shares of volume in one day. But here's the problem. On this day, when this started squeezing up, if you tried to buy 10,000 shares, you were 10% of the average daily volume. Now, you weren't 10% of the volume today, but you were 10% of the average daily volume. And so Interactive Brokers has essentially an algorithm that is a part of their compliance that automatically will block you from selling. It won't stop you from buying. You can buy, but it won't let you sell because it'll say, we have to make sure you're not an affiliate of the company before we let you sell. Of course, you're not an affiliate of the company. I mean, yeah, there might be 1 out of every million people that actually is an affiliate of the company, but out of the million customers that they have, I can't imagine very many are affiliates of publicly traded companies. But they err on the side of caution. And what that means is you now have to reach out to their compliance team before they allow you to sell your position. Uh-oh, you're in a highly volatile stock that could go up 10 points in 10 minutes and then come right back down. That by itself is completely unacceptable. So for me, and here's the thing that's sad is I've heard of this happening to traders even with relatively small share size. Not with huge positions, but relatively small share size. But because the stock had average daily volume that was so low, they got triggered anyways. So that is honestly my biggest concern with Interactive Brokers, period. And it's regardless of which platform you use. Interactive Brokers, IBKR desktop, Interactive Brokers, Trader Workstation, doesn't matter because that's an overarching sort of compliance threshold that they have that can be a major problem if you're trading small caps. Now, if you're not trading small caps, you're not trading stocks that trade on zero volume and then suddenly have breaking news and trade 100 million shares, you're fine. Doesn't matter. You're trading Tesla, Netflix, you're fine. But if you're trading small caps or you're trading penny stocks, to be honest, Interactive Brokers probably isn't the platform for you. And Webull is probably a better option, just to name one. But there's actually a lot of better options because just the cost of that one time you're in a full position and you have to wait half an hour before you can sell, that could blow up your account. That right there could be a deal breaker. So here's the actual rule. They call it Rule 144, places certain limitations on trading stocks, including micro-cap stocks by an affiliate of the issuer. We will automatically prevent clients designated as affiliates in our system from selling if the control security is not currently in regulatory filings, is not current in its regulatory filings. The control of the security is a U.S. microcap. The affiliate sale during a 3-month period would exceed the greater of either 1% of the outstanding shares or the 4-week average trading volume. So the problem here is the presumption that every client is an affiliate, and then the requirement that you affirmatively say you're not an affiliate, and simply the time it takes to go through that process. Meanwhile, you're holding a stock and you can't get out of it. So, this is, I just wanted to pull this up just because it is important. And I understand that, these companies feel they, have an obligation to protect their customers and protect themselves. Compliance is important. But this is something that I haven't seen any other broker enforce. And I've seen it cause some really big losses from traders who were inadvertently caught in, the compliance trap of this rule, which require them to, go through the compliance department and say they're not an affiliate, before they were finally able to sell. So I just wanted to show you this real quick. Again, this is just my honest opinion. You should do what's best for you. But this is something that, for me, would probably be the biggest deal breaker. But I also think it's something that it's within their control to change, in which case it's not an issue. So as we sit right now, IBKR Lite and IBKR Desktop is not a minimum of 5, which means I would consider using it for real money for myself. It just doesn't work right now because there's no hotkeys, there's no level 2. That can get improved. But I'm going to add, it doesn't even make sense to add this additional line item for do they occasionally block you from selling, because no other broker does it. So everyone else is going to be no, 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 no. But then Interactive Brokers is yes. So guys, I don't know what to say. But if we go back down in the comparison, you've got no routing fees with IBKR Lite. They do enforce the PDT rule, but only at US branches, right? Now, IBKR Lite is only for US customers, so that's yes. Interactive Brokers in general only enforces the PDT rule at US branches. Paper trading, yes, they allow it. Minimum account size, they don't have one. Extended hours, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. on IBKR Lite, 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. IBKR Trader Workstation. Desktop experience, I'm being kind of generous by saying medium because it's really not functional right now, but I see the potential that it could be better in the future. Both with just a couple of their own enhancements and fixing this issue with blocking people from selling, which has to be a nightmare for their compliance team. No level 2, obviously. The hotkeys, yes, but do not auto send. They do offer offsets, but you can't sell position based on percentage. Like you can't sell 50% of an open position or 25%. Halt levels, they don't show that on the light because there's no level 2 data. The charting, actually, no, I'm going to update this. Charting is excellent. Charting is excellent. No issue with the charting. So I'll make that one actually green. I'll give that to it. Sub 1 minute time frames, yes, they've got that. So we're good there. Accepts international customers, not an IBKR Lite, but you can use IBKR Desktop internationally. Market data varies, leverage, yep, all that stuff, yep. All right, so that's the rank right now. And I think if you want to learn more about Interactive Brokers and a platform that's going to be a little bit better for day trading, you could check out Interactive Brokers Trader Workstation. So I'll put a link to that episode. But if you want to check out some of the other brokers I've done reviews on that are more suitable for traders who are focusing on small caps, I'll put a link to one of those episodes here and you can check that out. Thank you guys as always for tuning in. Reminder, as always, trading is risky. My results are typical and there's no guarantee you'll find success whether you trade with me or you learn on your own. So please take it slow, manage your risk, and practice in a simulator before putting real money on the line. I'll see you for the next upload real soon.